You know, what's really clear here is that this plan for a possible attack on Syria is still evolving. We've talked a lot about the idea of ships coming in here, unloading with a bunch of cruise missiles into this country. That would be the core of the plan. But we don't know. It could be much, much more. Missiles can be launched from ships, of course. They can also be dropped from bombers. They can be fired from submarines. Is it possible that we, in fact, could see all of these at use?
Tom, I would expect to see all of these, primarily submarines in the eastern Mediterranean. They are already located there. But bear in mind, we don't know the plan. But I would expect to see bombers involved. This is a B-52. I would also expect B-2s coming out of Whiteman Air Force Base, the stealth bomber, which is in Missouri, comes over the Atlantic, refuels in the vicinity of Italy, and then will launch its munitions at targets in Syria without ever having to penetrate the airspace.
This is a lot more complicated, involving a lot more hardware and a lot more people than just firing from the ships. The ships have hundreds of missiles. Why would you want such a complicated system?
Well, it's not that complicated. It's a matter of physics. You can only launch so many cruise missiles from these ships. So you want to get more platforms. You want to launch them from the air. So you want to maintain continuous pressure on the regime. So Assad has to keep his head down, doesn't know what's going on, and has no ability to respond.
So as each of these armaments come in, they keep unloading and unloading and unloading, wave after wave hits.
Absolutely.
They have no time to come back up and do anything
simultaneity of attacks. That's exactly right.
But there is some complexity involved here, and here's the risk that rises with it. Answer this for me, if you would. Let's say that one of these planes were to come in here. It does stray into airspace, or it develops mechanical problems, and suddenly we have a plane and a pilot down inside Syrian territory. Doesn't that change the whole equation?
Well, it doesn't change the whole equation, but there is friction of war. This is a human endeavor. Things will go wrong, but you anticipate and you plan for those. For example, there are Marines that are afloat with the Navy so that they're in a position to respond. And the Air Force has very sophisticated, highly trained search and rescue capabilities that are already pre-positioned. They will not leave a fallen comrade behind.
So the idea is still a standoff approach. Nobody goes in the airspace, nobody goes on the ground, but being ready to in case something goes wrong.